In this video, Nick the Bricklord walks us through his amazing Coruscant Underworld build and points out a lot of the details that you'd probably miss if you were just looking at pictures. So definitely stay tuned. It's going to be awesome.
This is a piece of the city of Coruscant from the Star Wars universe, the planet where you see the Senate building and a few other places. This is a giant shaft that goes down into the center of the city where you have lower levels, the underworld essentially, and there are different platforms and such for ships to land on. So this build took me about 6 months to create, about, I don't know, maybe 200 hours of build time, something like 30 to 40,000 parts. We got a couple landing platforms here, a ton of greebling that took way too long. And that's kind of the MOC. So I'll walk you through a few things. First off, I'll point out the slave one in the center. That's kind of what I based the size of this MOC on. I wanted the UCS slave one to feel like it was placed at scale when it was set in the center of this, and then it could fly through very conveniently and effectively. There are a lot of fun greeblings that I added since I had so much gray wall to work with. One of my favorites is actually very, it's not very noticeable, but my favorite is over on this side. And it's a bunch of minifigure shovels that are shoved in between some plates with the lip on them, and there are bricks going every direction, but I really liked the shape that the shovels gave to the vent. I also like using a mix of like old dark gray, like here in the middle, giving it kind of like a worn look where one of the pipes like leaked out a bit. I also had a friend that helped me out with it a little bit. He'd come over and build Pinecone Eagle Man. One of my favorite greebles that he did was this piping section down here with some like broken red parts. But definitely one of the things that pulls the whole build together is the center columns with the triangles and the blue lights. These triangles like look very smooth and simple compared to everything else, but it's actually one of the most complex areas because there's so many brackets going every direction just to get the wedge plates, the slopes on the edge to line up perfectly. So that was a lot of fun to try to figure out. But I like how it brings the MOC together. And then the landing platforms definitely finish the MOC and give you an idea of what it is, because without the landing platforms, you can't tell that this is where ships are going down into lower levels. But I had a lot of fun trying to create those. This one was based off of the landing platform that shows up in the Clone Wars that Fives goes to when he's running away from Palpatine trying to end his life. And we got a little scene going on there with a pike and some bounty hunters. There's also a little mini kit that's hidden on the inside. It's a little Easter egg from the old Lego Star Wars game. And then over here we got Zero the Hutt being escorted by his Senate commandos. Technically, this is not where they'd be releasing him from prison, so it's not really that scene, but I had the figure. It fit perfectly. Yeah.
Talk about the lights.
Yeah, the lights. I said that the triangles bring it together, but it's really the lights that make this MOC. Without the lights, it doesn't feel complete. So I spent a lot of time figuring out how I wanted to do the lights. I ended up using some Train hobby lights because they're a little bit more durable, a little bit cheaper, and also a little bit more DIY in terms of what I want to do in the future. Just makes it a little bit more, how would you say, just a little bit easier to use and transport in the future as I add on to this MOC. But yeah, I think the lights definitely bring it together. And speaking of lights and adding on more, this is part of a much larger Coruscant MOC that I am working on. So this is the first section of many. and I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
If you enjoyed this video, just know that we're going to be posting more interviews of different BobaLUG members from Brickworld Chicago, so you're definitely going to want to subscribe for that. But thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.